Ms. Austin, this is your third time here in our courtroom with Mr. Wallace and Ms. Roberts. Previously, you were here because Mr. Wallace questioned the paternity of your other child, but now you find yourself in the same situation. Today, you say you need to prove to Mr. Wallace that he is the father of your 9-month-old son, Ronell, so that he can begin to step up and be a father. Mr. Wallace, you claim you have multiple reasons to doubt when it comes to whether or not you are the biological father of this child, and hope today is your last visit to this courtroom. Let's take a look at what happened the last time you all were here.
I thought Ronell got himself together.
In addition, you have another child with Ms. Austin.
The kids, I love my kids dearly, but I shouldn't have
You
got
just
married.
don't love their mothers.
Correct.
When it comes to baby Danielle Wallace, Mr. Wallace, you are the father.
He is an innocent baby. Like, I ain't have a father in my life, so I don't want my kids to grow up not having no father in their life.
She is a whore.
Mr.
So perfect.
Wallace, you're not gonna address a woman in this courtroom that way. You better pipe yourself down. Get out of the courtroom, Mr. Wallace.
I never had anybody to show me how to treat a woman or to be a man, or just need help on.
And that's why we're here. So last time you were standing on the defendant's side with Ronell,
Yes,
Mr. Wallace. So now, Mr. Wallace, you back with Ms. Roberts.
Yes, ma'am.
But you still going back and forth between the two women because she's pregnant now and the baby could potentially be yours?
Yes.
Because let me just say something, because the last time I talked to you on the phone, you know I called you one day. You had your kids. You sounded so happy. You sound like you were on the right track. You said you had your kids and you all were having a great day. And I have been talking about you nonstop since then. When people ask me some of the cases that mean the most to me, you're one of the people. And so I have to say before I even start today, I'm so mad you all back up in here. So, Ms. Austin, I have to ask you, what has happened since the last time you all were here?
Since the last time we was here, everything started out okay, but we all knew that wasn't gonna last long. Ronell Wallace was still bouncing back from me and Kendrelyn. I had enrolled in school, but I never did go because I had got pregnant once again with Ronell. And she got pregnant with her baby, with her son. And as you can see now, once again, I'm pregnant again with my third baby.
First of all, I don't know if it's because you're nervous, Miss Austin, which, look, I wouldn't blame you if you were, but it's not funny. I keep seeing a smirk on your face. You know
it's
when
sad.
it's funny.
Because it's sad that I'm back here again.
You're disgusted with yourself that you're back here.
Yeah, for the same reason.
I can see behind your eyes the hurt. And the baby could potentially be yours?
Yes.
And the child that we are dealing with in terms of the paternity results today is a second child you had by
Yes.
Mr. Wallace, named Ronell.
Yes.
9 months old.
Yes.
But you pregnant again.
Yes.
All right, so let me understand this. Obviously, Mr. Wallace has been going back and forth between you two women, and you two women are still falling for it. Why is there a doubt then, Mr. Wallace, as to whether or not her child is your child if you've been having babies with both of these women back and forth all this time?
Because she's very promiscuous. When we was together, I had installed, it was like spyware on her phone. It's what they would duplicate her text messages and call log and send a copy to my email. And again, for about the 5th, 6th time, I called her texting different men.
Well, where your proof at?
You saying that didn't happen?
Where your proof at? I never saw it.
And you believe she's sleeping with these men?
Yes.
Ms. Austin, were you sleeping with these men?
No. Lie detector me, please, right now.
How is you can't just be involved with all these different men without doing
Who, I'm
it?
not you, just because you lay down with everybody who you talk to. Because that's what you do.
You and the Lord know you a slut. and that's
No,
like-
you're
Hold
a
on,
slut.
hold on,
You're
hold
a
on, hold
slut. You're a slut.
Mr. Wallace,
You're a
you
slut.
remember from the
You're a
last time
slut.
you were here,
I don't-
we are going to speak to women respectfully in the courtroom. You can express yourself, but do it respectfully. So you believe she was sleeping around?
If I'm dead, so why you keep on sleeping with me? Why? 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 I'm pregnant again. Why? Why?
Easy access.
Why? You say that about
All
her,
right.
yeah.
So
Why
now,
do you keep allowing me to sleep
Fool,
with
I'm
you?
gonna keep on just because I know that you with her. She's
So,
allowed.
I don't have nothing to do with that.
Yes,
If
you
you
do.
can sleep with somebody else,
Yes,
man,
you
then
do.
you got low
I know you're
Ladies,
not talking.
ladies.
I know you
You guys want to hear the case?
let's get some order. Let's get some order. No, get her, Ranielle. Court is back in session in the case of Austin v. Wallace. Due to the exchange that occurred between Ms. Roberts and Ms. Austin, Ms. Roberts has been removed from the courtroom. You know, we're here because yet another child is in the world, and we're unsure if you are their biological father. Ranielle, 9 months old. Before we had to take a recess, we were dealing with the issues as it relates to the doubts surrounding the paternity. You were outlining that you felt like Ms. Austin was sleeping around.
Yes, ma'am. If you're talking to other people while you're pregnant and right after you're pregnant, of course, I'm gonna have doubts about the child.
Right. Ms. Austin, are you admitting that you also had a relationship with somebody else during the time?
No, I wouldn't even call it a relationship.
It was just someone else you were seeing.
Yeah, or talking to,
Okay.
because I was hurt
But if you,
by trying to get back to Aunt Ranielle for the things that he has done to me.
And so at the end of the day, you all can see now that two wrongs never make a right. They make more wrong,
yes, ma'am.
right? Because you were wrong for going back and forth between the two women, and then you were wrong for being pregnant and talking to other men and expecting him to then believe your child is his child automatically. And look, I don't want things getting out of hand, and I know this is an emotional thing to talk about, Miss Austin and Mr. Wallace. I don't understand how you two fell apart.
Because like she said, she tried to get back at me for the things that the mistakes that I made.
Actually, Ranielle left his apartment and he moved with Kendra.
Just out of the blue, he woke up and said, I'm
Exactly.
gonna
I
move with
didn't
Miss Roberts
just
now?
go with
No.
her.
So what happened?
You were being promiscuous, and I'm not gonna tolerate that.
So basically, Mr. Wallace, you can sleep around, but your women can't. Mr. Wallace, I see right now, not much has changed since the last time we were here. I was hoping that it would. Another thing that hasn't changed, that there's another child whose paternity is in question and you are a possible father. But you have doubt.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the baby has a resemblance to you or your family? Are you concerned about that?
I feel like we have certain features, but you can't just base it all off look.
They have the same chin.
Let me see that. Is that evidence you'd like to present?
Yes.
Okay. Walk me through what these pieces of evidence are. The first piece is,
A chin. You see that chin? Look at their feet.
so you say their feet are alike,
Yeah.
but they don't change your mind.
No, ma'am. It's just like you go to a police lineup. They put you in there with 6 other men who look just like you.
And you got picked out of it. And so
you
he
can't
looked
just
just
go
like
off
you.
looks.
So you feel like these similarities are not compelling enough.
No, you can't just go off looks. I'm going off her actions.
You couldn't forgive her. You all couldn't work through this. Instead, you just went to stay with Miss Roberts.
And abandoned me and my children.
That's false.
The apartment that I have now is because I moved in because of Ranielle. Because of Ranielle. Ranielle left me to go be with Miss Roberts. He don't care. It's all about him, and he doesn't care. And I'm done. Like, what more can I put into this?
That's false.
The apartment
Your Honor.
is because he said he didn't want to stay with Kinsley anymore. He wanted us to be back a family. And I did what I had to do to move into the apartment, Your Honor. I do everything for him. I stood by his side when he had his apartment. He went through a lot. And I was there by his side, never left. And I could have left. I could have walked away. I had a family, like, I could have walked away, but I didn't. I stood by his side in earth because he left me. He keeps leaving me. Every day he leaves me. Like, what more could I do?
That's because you always have other men.
No.
Mr. Wallace, do you hear her?
She could
He
sit
said-
here and put on a show, but
No, that's not a show.
if you
Everybody
stop
knows
having
that.
other men, we wouldn't have this problem.
Everyone knows that. He sits in my house, texts Miss Roberts.
Miss Austin, for the life of me, I love this young man because I've invested so much time in him, but I don't know why y'all want to be with him so bad. So, while you're with Mr. Wallace, you're trying to have this relationship. You got one child together, maybe 3. I'm trying to understand the extent of you feeling like he left you. You say he's always leaving you.
Yes, every time I look up, he's picking a reason to leave.
Explain that to me.
Like, not too long ago, Raniel left the house. He left the house. He took...
So wait, is he there living or is he there visiting?
Yeah, he was there living,
Okay, go ahead.
but he left my house. He leaves my house and goes spends the night out at Kinsley's house. With his stuff still being at my house until I took it to his mom's house. And that's where his stuff been at ever since. He just came back to my house not too long ago like 3 days ago because him and Kinsley had a fight.
When you just broke down a moment ago, I felt for you because I see a young woman here that desperately is trying to have a relationship with somebody that
Doesn't want me.
She's lying now.
Ms.
Everything
Austin,
she told you
I
was
don't
a lie.
even know if he doesn't. It's not that he don't want you or he don't want Miss Roberts. Mr. Wallace hasn't grown enough where he can be in a position to want anybody or to truly commit to anybody. And I think ultimately he's got to grow into the man that he needs to become if that's ever going to happen. But you two women continuing to fight and argue and get into altercations, you're pregnant for goodness sake. Are you hoping that it's determined today that Mr. Wallace is Ronell's father? Is that what you're hoping?
Yes,
You are.
yes.
And Mr. Wallace, what are you hoping for today?
I'm just, agitated.
You feel agitated?
Yes,
Tell me.
because of the bull crap performance she put on. Look, well, I need to walk out because
Let's stay here and finish it. Come on.
Roniel, don't walk out again. You can stand up
Get
here.
the-
Don't
let's
do
finish this.
do not repeat the same mistake as last time.
All right?
Stand up here. Get your
Sitting up there putting on this
composure.
performance. You
Get composure.
I knocked that
Stop it.
your head.
No, you won't.
Mr. Wallace.
You sitting up here, you taking her
Come
side.
on.
You ain't even let me go word in.
Stand up. Jerome, just give him a minute. Give him a minute.
Let's go out here and sit.
God. Mr. Wallace, I'm glad you came back. What I was trying to tell you before you left is I don't want you to make the same mistake again. When you were just speaking to me and you said you're taking her side, I'm not going to let you leave here thinking I'm taking anybody's side. I'm asking the questions that need to be asked. Now, we're going to get you these results because you came here because you wanted to know, right?
Yes.
Are you Ronell's father? I have that for you, and I'm going to give you those answers. And then I'm going to get you all some help. Yes. All right? All right. The results.
Go ahead and take a seat for a second. Sit down. Go ahead and stand up.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Austin versus Wallace, pertaining to 9-month-old Ronell Wallace. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Wallace, you are Ronell's father. I want to get you all some help. I have joining me today via Skype a gentleman by the name of Mr. Wright. Now, he's a social worker in Chicago, your hometown, based right there. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, I have a number of social services. I have a number of resources that I want to wrap these young people in, but are they willing to accept my help?
Good question.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. That's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright, and I look forward to hearing about the progress. We will be putting them in touch with you immediately.
All right.
Thank you, sir. That's wonderful. Mr. Grandmaison, you say the defendant told you you were the father of her 9-month-old daughter, Mariah, only to take it back. You and your girlfriend are hoping today's results prove what you have always known. You are Mariah's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Goulder, you admit you initially told Mr. Grandmaison that he was Mariah's father, but claim today's DNA results will reveal that he is not. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Grandmaison, you are positive you are Mariah's father.
Yes.
Explain.
I was there ever since she's been born, off and on for the past 9 months. I'm literally the only father that she knows of.
And she's 9 months old.
Yes.
And you say you've been there through the entire process.
Pretty much.
As a father would be. And you truly believe this is your little girl.
Yes, Your Honor.
Take me to the first time you saw Mariah.
She was about 2 months old. I was honestly happy and holding her. It felt incredible.
And so now you have a bond. I mean, I can see when you speak about her how earnestly you feel about this little girl.
I need to know the truth.
And those tears are because you're so fearful she is not?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Goulder, you say you're certain
Yes, Your Honor.
that he's not Mariah's biological father.
I know he is not her father, Your Honor.
And yet his testimony, how did we get here? I would first like to go back to how you all even met.
So I was on social media site and Mr. Grandmaison contacted it and was like, hey, you're cute. And we hit it off and then we agreed to meet. And it went really great. Everything was awesome.
And then what happened? How did it change?
So we moved in together, and about 3-4 months after living together, that's when stuff started going downhill because he wasn't able to get to work and we were just fighting all the time.
And that ultimately led to what?
Me meeting the other man.
And did
He
you
told
know
me-
she had met another man?
No,
No, I
You
did not.
kept it a secret.
Yes.
How long did you keep it a secret?
till after she told me that she was pregnant.
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't tell the other guy right away or him. And I was like, well, I'm gonna make up an excuse to go to the hospital to get it confirmed because I don't wanna freak people out if it's just a fluke. I go to the hospital, it gets confirmed, and I get back to the house and it's about 3-4 in the morning. And I walk up to the other guy and I'm like, I'm pregnant. And he goes, oh. And just stays frozen for about 30 minutes. And then later that day, Corey texted me and said, I'm done. I'm coming to get my stuff in a couple weeks. We're done. I was like, by the way, I'm pregnant. He goes, no, you're not. Ha, ha, ha. That's very funny. I was, you're really not. I'm like, yes, I am. And I sent a picture of the proof.
were you involved in the pregnancy? You found out?
I found out, yes, I was involved.
So you there through the whole pregnancy?
Off and on, yes.
And so, Ms. Goulder, if you know for certain he's not Mariah's biological father, Why do you let him do all these things?
Because when I first found out I was pregnant, I was not certain at all. I honestly thought it was his child. And then it wasn't up until my first doctor's appointment that I started becoming more aware that it was more likely the other man's.
But honestly,
included
you
him
could
as
have been
well.
pregnant before.
So, Mr. Grandmaison, you presented a calendar to the court because you feel like the conception window adds up to you being Mariah's biological father. Let's review that calendar, please. Mariah was born on December 12th. You say the window of conception would have been March 15th through the 21st. The question now becomes, when was the last time you and Ms. Goulder were intimate?
The 17th
Of
March.
which falls smack dab in the middle of the window of conception.
But
Most
you wore a
doctors will
condom
tell
for
you
it.
the most fertile days of conception are the 3rd and 4th days of your
Your Honor,
cycles.
may I ask a question? Why is she even here? She wasn't around during the time that me.
Doesn't
during this
matter.
whole
I'm here
situation.
now in his life, and if he is the father,
Well,
I'm gonna be in Mariah's life too.
She's here to support her boyfriend because it might be a game to you, but it's not one for him. He is very much attached to this little girl,
I see that.
and you can see that. Now, were you intimate with Mr. Grandmaison on March 17th?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
You were,
Yes.
which makes him a very real possibility.
Yes.
Now, I must ask, when were you intimate with this other guy, the guy you're convinced is Mariah's biological father?
On March 18th, 19th, and 20th, and 21st.
The day after I left.
Yes.
So the day after Mr. Grandmaison left, the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, you were intimate with the other guy.
Yes, I was.
That's too close to call.
Corey was wearing condoms, so I thought we were playing it
We've
safe.
never used condoms,
We
Kelly.
did. One
Once
time.
or twice.
And it was the time right before you left because I thought you were sleeping around playing
We've
it safe.
never used condoms,
We
Kelly.
did. And I didn't want to catch nothing.
Well, that sure went out the window on the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Miss Goulder, I need to ask you this, and I need you to be honest. Do you really believe this other guy is Mariah's biological father, or is this just you manipulating him and his feelings because you feel like he was cheating on you?
At the time, yes.
Okay, so come on now. That's why I do this for a living.
At the time, or still continuing?
There we go. That's the next question. So at the time, you were being manipulative.
Yeah, I
Because
was
you were
pissed off.
furious. So it started off as you being like, you know what? You don't want me, then you obviously don't want this baby. And so now, this baby ain't yours.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I know. I've heard this one before. And so from there, you decided that it was the other guy's baby.
Yes.
But the real truth of the matter is, given the testimony from both of you, you truly can't know definitively, given the dates of the 17th and then the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. And that's why you didn't have a problem with Mr. Grandmaison getting attached to the child, because there is a very real possibility that it could be
I believe
his baby.
I believe that my daughter is the other guy's because I've talked to his family.
Oh, believe. Believe. Let's
I
write that
know.
word down. Believe. Believe has no scientific basis. This assertion that you have come up with, that he is not Mariah's biological father, is not rooted in any scientific reasoning.
No, Your Honor.
It's just you deciding now he's not the dad.
The main reason that I believe that he is not the dad, and I know that he's not the dad in my heart, is because the dates don't add up. Like, I was told that my conception date was more likely the 20th of March, and that past weekend could have an impact.
Okay, but do you understand, though, there's only 3 days between the 17th and the 20th.
Yes, Your Honor.
That is such a tight window. So when's the last time you were intimate with Mr. Grandmaison?
About, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago?
Yes. Technically, me and Kelly aren't together. We were
trying to work on things.
So, Mr. Grandmaison, let me just ask you point blank. Who do you want to be with? Tell the truth.
one standing right beside me.
So you want to be with Miss Wilson?
Yes.
That's not what you were saying the other night.
That's funny. That's funny.
What happened the other night, Miss Goulder?
He was all drunk, talking a bunch of stuff, saying, oh, I still love you. You remind me of the girl when we first got together. I was like, well, you're in a relationship with one of my best friends. Oh, she doesn't have to know.
You're
She doesn't have to know.
I was drunk.
Well,
drunk.
you know what they say.
Drunk man's words are a sober man's truth.
You better go ahead and preach. A drunk man's words is a sober man's truth. Let me make this easier. I'm going to ask for the purpose of this hearing, and I realize you are here for support, Miss Wilson, and I do value and appreciate that. But right now, I am dealing with 2 prospective parents, and I need the truth. I'm going to ask you to be seated, please, ma'am. And now that she is not clutching your hand, I can ask this question because I want a real answer, because this matters. Do you want to be in a relationship with Miss Goulder if things could be the way they were when you met? If you all could get back to the good place? Do you
Back
want
to the good place? Yes, but I know it probably won't happen.
And people do change.
And so, Miss Goulder, if Mr. Grandmaison is determined to be Mariah's biological father, and if not, do you want to try to develop and rekindle the relationship with Mr. Grandmaison so that you all can be a family?
That's all I've ever wanted in my life, is for my family to be together. If I could have my family be together and she could grow up knowing what it's like to have a mom and dad together, that'd be amazing.
And so you do want to make this work. You do really care about Mr. Grandmaison.
I do. He's a really great guy. He's an amazing dad. Her first word was dada.
And I can see that brings tears to your eyes.
It does.
Because this really does mean something to you.
It's not that I don't want him to be the dad. It's just I know that he's not. And it hurts.
But he's already said that he truly wants to be her legal father if he's not the biological
And he
father.
does. When I was up in
And
Cadillac,
if he's the biological father, he wants to be in your life. He wants to have a relationship.
and I'd be open to that. May I say something to Mr. Grandmaison?
As long as it's earnest.
It is. You are an amazing dad to our daughter. You're an amazing dad to your son. You're a great person. And we've had our fights, but I really would like to work on things with you. I do still love you. I really do.
Do you hear that, Mr. Grandmaison?
And she knows I still care for the old her.
And you care for the baby, and you love Mariah.
He really does.
Without doubt.
This courtroom has a way of getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Apparently.
Yeah.
The only thing left we need to get is the truth about the paternity. Jerome? Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Grandmaison versus Goulder, when it comes to 9-month-old Mariah, it has been determined by this Court, Mr. Grandmaison, you are not the father. I'm very sorry. You are not her biological father.
Doesn't mean I can't be her father.
You're her daddy. You want a hug? Give me a hug.
You can stand over with Mr. Grandmaison if you like. And I appreciate you stepping outside of your comfort zone as well, Miss Goulder. So I was going to ask you if you two still wanted to try to make this work, but I can tell you do. Now, as you move forward, you all have some legalities to figure out.
Your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend.
Well, I think I resolved that.
Yeah.
But I will say this, there's no flip-flopping, Mr. Grandmaison, because just 10 minutes ago, you were holding hands with another woman who was standing in that exact same spot. But I will say I studied body language and you got the double grip on Miss Goulder. Yeah, y'all missed that, huh? The judge catches those things.